And because of my sensitivities, which I won't go into now, but I'm a highly sensitive person. I'm also an introvert. I pick up on a lot of things emotionally. I guess I would say that I'm emotionally intelligent. I understand emotions really well, and I can see other people's sort of where they are emotionally very easily in a way that can kind of distract me from just what's going on with me. And so I'm taking in a lot of information sometimes that is really not necessary for me. And so I have to learn, where I can put, this sort of container around myself, and so that I don't just take in everybody else's story, everybody else's stuff when I'm just having a conversation or when I'm trying to deal with something work related or whatever, and that I'm not being influenced or distracted by those things. And so it's been quite a journey, and there's a lot of different parts to it, but the overall theme is that I started in abusive relationships, and the work that I did allowed me to move out of those relationships and to get into healthier relationships, and to have a healthier relationship with myself, and one that is it's sustainable. It allows it for me to continue to expand. And basically I have a foundation now for myself that where I can begin to focus my energy out now and share, whereas before I really needed to kind of keep that energy, or sort of pull that energy into myself, just to give myself a platform and a foundation, for for my life, going forward. And it's like sort of rebuilding myself in a way, but also like, just shedding stuff that isn't, that no longer serves me, the mechanisms that no longer, um, uh, that are no longer, I guess, an important or essential part of my survival, or and so I I've really come a long way as far as my development and my healing, and I just feel so just so grateful and so blessed to have had the right support, or been able to find the right support, and to begin to develop, trusting relationships with people, so that I could have a new relationship with myself, where I can mirror something new to myself. And we need other people. We can't heal on our own. We can't really see ourselves without other people in our lives, especially as a child. That's how we develop a sense of self, is through the mirroring that we get from our parents, from the people who love us. And if we don't have that, we continue to need to have that. Excuse me, I'm gonna cough. We still need to get that, and so the way that I was able to continue to get that was to seek out professionals. And as I got developed, had more of a genuine relationship with people who were helping me, I began to be able to be more open to other people in my life who were trustworthy, who were genuinely interested in me. And also because I began to feel more interested and more connected to myself. So it's just a natural progression. So that's the overview of kind of where I've been in terms of relationships, in my recovery. There have just been a lot of different phases that I've been through over the years. It's been 10 years. 10 years since I sort of actively started this journey of recovery. And it wasn't really easy, because it's not like there's just people out there that, like therapists, that were perfectly matched for the background that I came from, and also psychology is still a field that is growing and changing, and a lot of times I felt frustrated that they didn't really have the help or the ability to help me where I was. And so I had to do a lot of work on my own, and which was great actually, because I learned a lot about what this process was for me, and it became a very unique journey, and I was able to kind of find people along the way that could help me in this process. But the more I did it, the more empowered I was to really help myself. And so I didn't stick to any kind of prescribed way of going about this, and I didn't have any specific technique. I didn't I never took medication. It was not because there probably were times where I really could have used it and it could have helped me get through some anxiety and depression. But because of the brainwashing and the religion, I didn't even consider it as something that I could do back when I was still just coming out of this belief system of that I needed to fix myself, and that there was always something wrong with me on some kind of spiritual plane or whatever, that I needed to work on myself. And so that conditioning didn't really allow me to sort of think about, oh yeah, this, I could get help in this area, through medication. So I didn't, at the point when I started doing this healing work, actively doing it, and I saw the changes, just the how things shifted so quickly, and how I was already just starting to feel so much better with the work that I was doing. I just never, there were times when I thought of it, but I just continued to do the work that I was doing, and not take medication. And so I, I was able to see how, these disorders like depression, anxiety, dissociation, social anxiety, PTSD, that these things, they weren't just, stuck, they weren't, something that was rigid. It, over time, it sort of there was movement, there was flow, and these things sort of began to disappear. And it wasn't like a magical thing. It took years, of this kind of work with myself, for these disorders to kind of begin to shift and change, and kind of become to lessen, where I would wake up and not feel depressed, where I would maybe normally feel anxious about something and I was no longer anxious, where my life felt really narrowed in, and I was always triggered, with the PTSD, where my life began to expand more, and where my sense of self began to grow, and where I was able to develop a healthier sense of ego, where my ego, I didn't even, I felt like there was this selflessness that was not healthy, because it was allowing others to take advantage of me, and it was putting me in positions where I was being hurt, and not protected. So all these things changed, and it wasn't just it wasn't overnight, and I didn't I wasn't taking any pills. And so it was really amazing to see that the work that I was doing on this emotional level was really allowing the mechanisms and the disorders to kind of also just kind of to move through, and to lessen their hold, and to begin to dissipate, I guess. And so it was just a really amazing experience, and where I am now in my life is just so much different than how it was before. And I'm just, I feel so much more empowered, so much more, sort of, there's a sense of self-agency, which is I'm going after the things that I want. I'm no longer just doing what, what's in front of me to do. I'm no longer trying to please other people. I'm focusing on my interests, my gifts, my desires, and by being in that more in that self-care place, then from that sense of authenticity you can really give and share and be there for others. And it's not selfish, to take time for yourself, to take care of yourself. And this is one of the major lessons I've learned, coming from this perfectionist mentality, coming from this mentality of always, trying to do for others. It's like, if you don't have a sense of yourself, if you don't have a strong foundation in yourself, or feel really whole in yourself, you're not really able to, sometimes when you're giving, it's actually enabling a situation. And so, you want to be giving from a place of groundedness, a place of connection, and a place of self-love. And that way, when you're giving, you're not like enabling or taking someone else's sort of power away from them. I don't know what made me think of that. I guess, like, if you're giving, just to, like, because you want to help other people, but you're not really, like, it's not coming from a genuine place, you're coming from a place where it makes you feel good, it sort of could be taking power away from that person. You want everyone to be empowered in themselves, and we ultimately want to be able to share ourselves in a way where we're not taking from other people, or we're not compensating or sacrificing ourselves. And so that's a really big part of what's changed in my experience with the healing work that I did. And just that in general, things are just getting lighter, things are getting easier, things are feeling more expansive. There's more of a sense of balance, and there's a sense of spaciousness, where I'm not just sort of focused in and consumed with just getting these needs met anymore. That I have, like, those needs are met, and now I can kind of expand out into my creativity, and so all of these things that I'm sharing, I hope that I can break them down more, and talk about more specific things with each video that I do. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of my evening, and for joining me in this journey on this vlog that I'm starting. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I'm really excited about it. I would love for other people to be able to share, their stories and their recovery. And I'm just really excited to connect with other survivors, and to create sort of a space for us to share our process. And if you have questions, you can reach out to me. You can leave a comment, and I'm still figuring all of this out with the technology, and so I'm sure things will change and evolve, and I'll become more I'll just become better at, like, putting it all together. And so anyway, I'm going to say goodnight for now. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and finds a sense of joy, and a sense of peace, and a sense of well-being, and don't forget to put yourself first, to take care of yourself and your needs, and so that you can go out there and really be true in the world. All right, thank you.